All right. Good afternoon. 12:03 here in Idaho. Benjamin Hadfield, Teach Me to Dive, technical dive instructor here in Idaho as well. Figured to bring on and talk about one of the big questions I get a lot. What kind of fins do you use? For me, I use a lot of different kinds of fins. I've got different fins for different situations as well through the process. So let's get kind of the elephant out of the room. We all hear about it. We all talk about it. We've heard the evilness of the split fin. Here is a well used split fin as well. It's definitely one that I've put a few miles on as well. Is there a benefit of using a split fin? Yes. It's a nice, easy fin. I wouldn't use it in high current. I wouldn't use it in a river. But if you're diving low current or a lake and you just want a nice, easy paddle, it definitely makes a nice, easy paddle. But there's a lot of guys out there, split fins suck. You can't backfin in them. True. If you're wearing a lot of weight, if you're wearing twin sets, you're not backfinning in a split fin. If you're wearing a big ass heavy tank, you're probably not split backfinning in. But if you're just a regular recreational diver, you're going out and having some fun, seeing some pretty fish, seeing a reef, whatever, split fins are definitely nice. But for me, we all know I dive technical. And so here's the thing is as you're choosing a fin, you need to figure out how you're going to dive, where you're going to dive, what you're going to dive. So for example, I dive a dry suit probably 90% of the time. And because of that, there's a lot of additional buoyancy that's involved with that. I do not like using ankle weights. So for me, I choose a nice technical fin. I like the Hollis. This is the F1 LT or F1 LT bat, or not LT, but F1 bat fin. Great fin. You can see it's got those nice hard ridges. It's a stiff fin. You can back fin in this thing pretty quickly. It's a nice heavy fin. It's the heaviest fin that I have, to be honest, in all my fins. It's about 4 3/4 ounces, almost 5 ounces per fin, but it's got a nice heavy stiffness to it. It's got those great ridges, and it helps keep your feet down when you're diving a dry suit as well. Great fin. When I'm diving a little lighter, I'll do the Bat LT, which is the same thing, but just lighter. But again, it's nice stiff fins, got those good ridges for back fitting. You can go backwards in it as well. If you're looking to do a little more technical as well, and you want something really light, even lighter than the split fin, oddly enough, this is the RK3 Apex. Apex makes a hell of a good product. But you can notice something common on all the tech fins. One, they're all stiff. They've got a nice stiffness to them. B, they've got these nice big hard ridges. Here's my bat fin as well. As you can tell, I definitely like yellow. Got those hard ridges and it's nice and stiff. The reason being, it makes it a little bit heavier to push on it, but the water will catch on your back fin as you're trying to back up on that as well. Makes for a great fin as well. Those are the 4 types of fins that I use. I do use foot fins once in a while. Very rarely. I use a nice bare foot fin or a Marius Quattro as well. But I find that I do not like bare feet when I dive. I like to wear a boot. So I always wear a boot fin. Here's the advantage. Bare feet, you're walking barefoot on the deck. You're walking barefoot wherever you're going. You have to change out shoes. With a nice boot, you get on the boat, you're in a boot. You get off the boat, you're in a boot. You get on the shore, you've got a boot as well. So you wear the same boot throughout the process. And with that, you definitely protect your feet from things like sea urchins, as my blushing bride found out when we went to Hawaii last month. She decided to wear foot fins and socks. It was actually her husband's fault when she did that, but she slipped into a sea urchin right there on a shore dive, and it definitely was not a pretty thing. Whereas my boot fins are nice and thick, heavy soles. But when you buy a fin, you need to make that decision. Do I want a boot fin? Do I want to protect my feet, or do I want to go barefoot through the ocean? I preferred a little bit of protection, so that's why I always wear a boot fin. But again, that's kind of my take on fins. Figure out what works best for you. Certainly, a big, heavy fin. I do not like diving my bat fins in a wetsuit. They're just too heavy, and it causes my lower half to sink, and my trim is completely off. So you need to decide how I'm going to dive, what I'm going to dive, and where I'm going to dive. So for me, I dive dry, so I tend to dive a heavy foot fin. When I'm teaching students, I will either wear the split fin or I will wear a nice light RK3. By the way, this is about 1.5 ounces lighter than the split fin, and a tremendous amount more control as well. It definitely takes a little bit more effort to get that high speed out of it. but it definitely works and does what it's supposed to be doing. If you have comments, questions, and concerns, reach out to me. Put your comments in the bottom here and let's talk it out. I hear a lot of guys talk about how bad the split fins are, but let's talk it out. If you haven't used a split fin and you've not tried it, my suggestion is shut the hell up until you try it. You know, don't be that guy that's like, split fin. I listened to Scuba Divers Uncensored and they said split fins suck and all people who work. Well, it's not true. Try it for yourself before you make the judgment, right? If you go to a good quality shop, and as you guys know, I always say, use your local dive shop. Always, always use your local dive shop, okay? And go in, and a lot of times they'll have ones that you can try. The owners will generally have ones and say, hey, I just want to demo a set of fins in the pool. Can you lend me some fins? I try and keep a bunch of fins around. The problem is I got big, ginormous Sasquatch feet, so all my fins that I have obviously fit on a Sasquatch size foot. So I definitely am happy to lend those out. And my wife has been really kind and has lent out multiple pairs of her fins as well. She's lent out tons of her different masks. We have, God, I don't even know how many masks. I think right now I'm switching between 5 or 6 different masks right now because they do wear out for me. I get about 3 to 5 months out of a mask and then it's completely useless and toast. And it might as well have it for the bathtub because it's about that useful. So that's been my thing. So we're really good about loaning those out. So get together with a good instructor who cares and it's got some extra gear. It's like, hey, what do you use? Why do you use it? Have you tried other things? Can I try yours? So anyway, that's my suggestion for the day. Put your thoughts in the comments. What's your favorite fin? Mine? Dry suit is going to be absolutely the Bat Fin from Hollis. Kick butt fin. I've got a ton of dives on it. Beat the snot out of it. And it's still just as pretty as the day I bought it. It's definitely the prettiest girl at the prom for fins. For light wetsuit diving, I'm going to tell you, I'll use the Atomic split fins that I for just easy dives. If I'm tech diving, it's definitely an RK3. So I've got a little bit more control. But overall, I'm not trying to push off that hard. In fact, we're diving Yellowstone this weekend, so you'll never guess what kind of fins I'm going to use. It's going to be colder than Well Diggers Behind, so I'm guessing 34 degrees. So we'll be using the Bat fins as well. So anyway, put your comments below. Again, Benjamin Hadfield, Teach Me to Dive, technical dive instructor. Like us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. Send us a message. Tell us what you think. Put your thoughts in the comments below. Look forward to talking to you soon.